right, welcome back. Right now, we want to jump straight into our viewpoint discussion today, and we're talking about issues affecting youth, real life issues that a lot of young people find themselves confronting today. And with me here is Alfred Polo, who's a mentor and a leadership coach, a peer mentor. Karibu sana to the show this Monday.
Thank you.
Hope you're well. And he's also the founder of Alfred Polo Foundation that has been on the front line trying to motivate both secondary and primary school students and offer inspirational talks to them, among other activities. So, tell me a bit about yourself and your background as far as dealing with youth matters and why this is now your day to day.
Thank you for inviting me. One thing you have to acknowledge that these issues we are currently dealing with are things which are somehow historical. And there are things which you know but we usually ignore. Through reminders, things improve. Some years back, you realize that there are a lot of school strikes. Then you wonder what's happening, because there are small guys who should be able to concentrate in classes and studies, but somehow things just go away. So what will you do as an adult or someone who's coming up to make sure that things improve in the schools? Because that's where life starts. Once they get out, things get so bad because they're adapted to their real hard life. Those are the guys who will become muggers and so many criminal activities. So you end up thinking, how can you be able to improve that? So that's how I came up with this kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing this for
Since
now?
2012.
Since 2012.
Yes.
Are you doing this full time?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Very well done and good job to you.
Thank you, please.
And obviously, as we can see then, there's a lot of things that young people are dealing with today. I think our generation is really trying to find their own voice to speak out against things. But even when we do, you find that there's so much brutality against them. There's a lot of violence. We've seen also headlines of police in central Kenya intensifying surveillance among major highways and riverbanks. There's drugs and illicit brew that is becoming, or continually becoming a significant issue among young people. So in light of all of this, in light of the fact that our population is so young, right? This youth bulge really should be a blessing. But at the moment, would you really say that it is?
You see, there are several things which are happening in the country, not worldwide. There's a lot of improvement of technology. That one makes people who are in responsible positions to ignore the purpose of talking to young people coming up. Young guys have gone back to the technical equipment, the phones, the laptops, such kind of gadgets. They try to Google for themselves. You find that these days, someone is okay into the house. He has a PS4, whatever, just playing PS. They don't interact. They should be encouraged in a way. They should be able to have a one-on-one with a few friends. Get out of the house, go meet their friends outside. Because you find that some years back, that's what used to happen. The TV or the PlayStation, just things which came the other day, but they're denying them the chance to socialize. Yeah. If you talk about Central Kenya, will it be a stigma? That's something which should worry everyone. But maybe because it's so much publicized in Central Kenya, it happened the same countrywide.
Sure.
Yeah. If you go to Coast, the women takes charge in Coast. The women will go look for food. Men are still staying indoors. If you take that scenario and what we read on the press happening in Nyeri, it's almost the same, right? If you go to Muranga, there's a high rate of alcoholism, right? If you go to Nyanza, towards bordering the Busia, the other day you read about the cheap liquor coming from Uganda coming into the Kenya. So it's all across, it's balanced. Maybe people are so focused in trying to blackmail a particular region, but it's all across.
Right.
So those who have been mentioned should take it easy and take it. What happened to me in Nairobi can happen to anyone in Mombasa, Kisumu, and everywhere
Right.
else.
And I think regions aside, the fact still remains that this is still a serious issue, regardless of which area of the country it's in, and I take your point with that, and I absolutely agree. But nonetheless, alcoholism, drug abuse, huge issue across this country for young people. In your discussions with them, what are some of the issues that are arising as to why so many young people are turning to drugs and alcohol?
There's a lot of idleness, and just they lack purpose. See, when you happen to have cleared high school or university, then high school, then you don't have to get school fees in time, so you have to go back to repeat. That's a demoralizer, right? If you happen to clear campus, then 3 years you haven't gotten the right job, you go back to the manual work. So you realize, if I went to school to get a good job, or a white collar job for that matter, what next now, right? Then it pushes you back. And by the way, in every place you stay, you'll find there's a corner somewhere where the idlers sit. The idlers corners, they discuss so many things, depending on what's available on that particular season.
Yeah.
Yeah. So your mind gets corrupted.
So how can we then help young people? Because these challenges are really linked to our economy and the state of our governance and leadership in this country right now. We're hearing about how jobs are very few and far in between. So how do we then address the issue of idleness? I know a lot of people have talked about entrepreneurship. As soon as that's raised, then there's issues about capital for them to be able to start their businesses. In your conversations with young people, then what would you say are some of the solutions? How do we begin addressing this idleness, for example?
As my team, we do it differently. We form a team, let's say, depending on the number available, and being that we are aware that Kenya, agriculture is the backbone of the Kenyan economy. We organize for land, then we give them some small seedlings they plant. Initially, the concept is the capital used should be refunded back.
Okay.
But that should be as a sign of showing their commitment to work. The youths are so energetic, they'll go help their parents, afterward they go to their farm, then they go take their things outside.
Okay.
The reason why soccer comes in is after midday, the sun is up high, at times very, very strong, right? So you give them soccer sports to keep them away from things which will distract them from real life issues. So the cycle continues. You find that once the season for that passes on, the farm produce is there, they ask, so what do you do? How many are you? We are 10, 20. How much have you done? This much. Then divide it amongst yourself. Then like, what of you? No, me, I was just trying to guide you. So that cycle continues. You find that in a group of around Nairobi in Kiambu, around 32, only 4 will fall back and I'll not go back to talk to them. The same guys will go pull them back. Because there's a relapse situation, right?
Yeah.
But the other guys are so well. They are concentrating that. Some of them have families. Some of them have improved on their relationship with their parents and their relatives, which was not there before.
Okay.
That's a plus to us.
Yeah.
So the cycle continues. A different region like in Mwingi, since it's a dry place, there are goats. So ikizaa unapeana mwenzako, ikizaa unapeana mwenzako. So the chain continues.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're working with youth aged approximately how old?
I don't put a benchmark because you realize that if you start putting like from 12 downwards, there are those who grow so fast and they're 9 years old. They like to learn.
Okay.
So you bring them up, but you watch on what you discuss as a person because you know how to poison such a mind.
And I've heard you talk about different parts of the country, Mwingi, Kiambu. Nyanza, how far spread are you?
Because the places I mentioned, the places we have are running projects.
Okay.
Yeah. Where if one time we have time, we can go see how these things are doing. But we have traveled across the country trying to find out what causes this.
So since there's no sort of age limit that you're putting in place, do they graduate from the program or how do you carry it forward?
There is no graduation as such. Graduation is in a way whereby you as a young person, you find your own means of putting up your resources to have your own farm. But you realize if you stick with a group for quite a while, it will be different for you to get apart. Yes, I have my own way of making my own farm for 10, 4, 5 acres, but still the other group is still there. So you still pull your resources together. You talk to each other. There are several challenges.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would you say to the youth that are watching the show? Perhaps they're not involved in that program. Maybe they can't be involved in it just yet. But just what would be your advice and your counsel to them as far as just dealing with life today as we know it? Because certainly the challenges are a lot. I think even just grown adults really struggling to just be adults. What would you then say to young people?
I would like to remind them that life is never indoors. Get out, stay with your peers, talk. And when you talk, don't set yourself boundaries on the issues you can talk about, because life is quite challenging. What I go through might not what the other person might be going through, but if I share, the other guy might have an idea of what we can do together. Let them also have the opportunity to talk with the adults, right? Because the adults have also become so busy. Work, home, work, home, work,
Right.
home. That routine is not going to give us peace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's that socialization too that you were saying.
Yeah, if let them also get involved in church activities, because we realize that the church is quite immense with people from different backgrounds who can assist you, and also they should be able to speak their problems. You never know who you are going to speak to next, so that at least you get the required help.
Yeah.
What if I mention that I have a problem? That's a big step. The
Right.
person will try. If I tell you I have a problem, it will be upon you to make sure that you put me to the next step. However, you cannot help, right? So don't just let me there, sit there with my problem.
And that's, I mean, and that again, I think is one of the contributing factors to a lot of the different mental health issues that we're seeing. Young people don't seem to have an outlet, so they're struggling with issues. Many going through depression, suicidal thoughts, and it seems like, to your point, that there's not enough of an outlet for young people to come and express themselves.
There's a lot of competition amongst each other, because I want to dress the same way you dress, I want to drive the same car you drive, but you never know how much does it cost to dress, how much does it cost to drive, right? So let each and every person stick to the lane. As much as we should have ambition, let's stick to our lane. Because if I have the focus, yes, but let me stick to my lane. Let me do my things differently to get to where I want to be. That competition get out completely. Then onto the depression, that's, if you realize most of the diseases which take us to the hospitals currently are things you can solve on your own. So people are thinking things which are beyond them. Something beyond me, why should that depress me? If I was to join campus this time and my parents told me I do not have cash, if I had a very nice conversation with them, they talk to on a one-on-one, I will have to understand how will I be able to help them get more money so that I can be taken to school.
Right.
So people should just have a chance to talk. They should discuss.
Yeah.
There are ages where people are given instructions as well gone. Even you don't give your daughter, if you have children, instruction. You'll give them instruction, but they do them the way they feel it's right.
Right.
They say, oh, mom, but I did it right. Then you have to, oh, no, you should have done it this way, right? So people discuss.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess then, as we wrap up this discussion, your key pointers here then are, number one, it seems that it is absolutely critical for young people to learn how to engage better with their peers, number one, through communication.
Sure.
Right? But that challenge extends to the parents specifically, that, buying your kids things does not make the relationship. Being there for them, understanding what they're going through, hearing them out is what constitutes a good relationship.
There's a story I was reading on Friday. These are a well-off family of around 4 children, and the parents are all around, right? But they are fond of, from school to the house, they should not be seen talking to the neighbors. So you wonder, these are guys, the oldest is around 19 years old, but they don't interact with the next door neighbor. Because if you are seen, you ask, what do you miss? So imagine that kind of, if that's what people from outside are seeing, now inside what happens?
Right.
These are young adults coming up. So will they have learned if they get out of the house? Imagine this young guy gets to campus. The things he has already read online, they
Right.
must be experimented.
Right.
What if they backfire?
Yeah.
So there are things people should have to think otherwise on how they can do about it.
All right. Well, Alfred, thank you so much for coming through and
I appreciate your time.
telling us a bit about your work. It's good to see your passion for young people. Is there a way people can follow your work, maybe on social media?
We have a page on Facebook, Alfred Polo Foundation, on Twitter, AP Foundation. And there we have a very active website.
Okay.
And you can be able to www.alfredpolo.com.
All right.
There's a section whereby you can put in your comment. For those who would like to support us with anything, you can always be able to indicate what they need to support in whichever area. For those who are willing to give moral support, you can also put that on the website. Then you get that feedback.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
We
Liz.
appreciate you guys. Do send in your feedback again. 22999 is the SMS line.